Hello and welcome to another X-Ray Tech video. Today we're going to be talking about automation complexity levels. If you're new to automation, you might not understand what makes something hard or easy to do. And in this video, we're going to be talking about different layers of complexity that move from a no-code implementation of an automation, right? Every time I get an email, shows up in a spreadsheet, to a really complex and custom integration that would be really close to custom software development and actually building a tool that you could resell and be able to grow and scale with as a business. So by the end of this video, I hope you have a much better understanding of what elements contribute to automation complexity. So let's start with the easy stuff. No-code solutions are the best way to get started and the easiest things to implement. So these are solutions that are fully supported by Zapier or Integromat or Unito or whatever your automation platform is. And you can find a lot of those things on X-Ray Tools. We actually built an automation search engine specifically for 100% no-code solutions. So you can actually discover and see what you can automate with the tools that you already use. No-code solutions are going to be the fastest to build. They're going to be the fastest to test and the fastest to refine. We always recommend starting with 100% no-code solutions so you can really understand what it is you're trying to do and if the data can actually move and go through the pipes to end up where you're trying to put it, and then starting to add complexity from there. So 100% no-code solution is going to be the fastest to build, the fastest to test and refine and bug fix, and the fastest to edit and update in the event that you want to change things in the future. So 100% no-code solutions are a great place to start, and it's really easy to ratchet up the complexity from there. Next level of complexity is going to be API calls. Custom API calls are an excellent way of extracting really specific data points from your tools. Things like PayPal or Stripe or QuickBooks might be great tools to either get information or push information to with an API call. Now this is moderate complexity, and someone with code experience is probably going to be required to actually conduct this API call in a way that doesn't return errors and is reliable enough to bake into the automation. If you are in a position where it does require an API call, you could look at the documentation and actually get the documentation to share with someone like X-Ray if you know that it's already not supported in the 100% no-code system. You'd be able to find API documentation. You could just search my tool documentation, and you will be given a API doc that has a whole bunch of post and get calls in it. Custom API calls are not impossible. They're things that people do in every software. Every modern software has an API, but it does require someone who's familiar and comfortable with code. So we do consider that a moderate complexity level, and you'd be able to really get super specific data points in whatever software it is that you're trying to integrate with when you are doing API calls. So this is going to be a little bit slower to build, but still the same speed to test and a little bit slower to update. So because we are dealing with code and you need to be in there and write the queries and be able to look up information inside the API, it does take a little bit extra time to both set it up and to change it, but testing it should be as easy as the 100% no-code solution, right? Because we're still inside of a Zapier, Unito, and Integromat, or whatever it is, to be able to extract this API call. So testing it will still be lightning fast, but updating it and constructing it will take a little bit more time than a normal 100% no-code solution. In the case that the tool that you use is not integrated in Zapier or Integromat, there are ways that you could create a custom integration for your account on this external software inside of Zapier. So just like inside of Zapier right now, you could select your Gmail and Google Drive or whatever it is, you can select them from a dropdown for triggers, actions, and searches. What we're talking about now is creating your own trigger, actions, and searches integration directly inside of Zapier for whatever that external tool is that you use that's not quite integrated yet. This is a high complexity task. So this requires not only an understanding of the API, but an understanding of how custom integrations work inside of Zapier or Integromat. And a lot of times this is going to require OAuth 2.0 and actually authenticating with the API that you are interacting with and setting up a custom integration inside of Zapier. That means you're configuring your own triggers, you're configuring your own actions, and even the fields that would be required to interact with those triggers and actions. And whenever those things happen, what data points do you get back? Right? There's a lot of things to decide here. This is definitely a high complexity level task, and it's a task that we're really not often asked to do because so many tools are already directly integrated with Zapier and Integromat. It just makes it a lot easier to use those existing tools. But if you're using a tool that does require a custom integration, it's not impossible. Custom integrations are going to take quite a bit longer to build because it takes research and it takes time to configure all of the different things that need to be configured inside of Zapier. It's going to be, again, pretty quick to test. It doesn't change the speed of seeing the information pop in and out. So testing is going to be pretty quick again. But reconfiguring and changing what specific functions we want it to do, that reconfiguring step is going to still take quite a bit longer than the previous two. We're dealing with high complexity with custom integrations that are going to be on the slower side to build. Still pretty quick to test, and again, on the slower side to reconfigure. So when you're dealing with high complexity custom integrations inside of Zapier, your expectations should be that this will take a little bit longer in comparison to a no-code implementation or a custom API call. So let's get into the very complex automated systems here. I'm talking about Shiny apps or Bubble apps or really custom coded applications that are going to do something really specific and unique to your company and your business. Understanding that custom applications are going to take quite a bit more time to actually develop and engineer brings us back to a really foundational point here, which is we need to understand what we're trying to build. Are there cheaper or faster ways to getting this done, right? Getting this information to the right people in the right circumstance. So in an event that we are building a custom application on Shiny or Bubble or any of the no-code or low-code app builders like Glide or something else, we need to focus on the user stories, right? There's actually a design element here and a UX element here that often gets overlooked. And what I really want to focus on is that a custom coded application is really a graduation of something that's either 100% no code or something that was low coded in a custom API call, right? This is a graduation of a system that you already know works, already delivers value for you, and now you want to either productize and resell to other firms that are similar to yours, or you want to be able to scale up internally to hundreds of people or to teams around the world in a way that puts more guardrails on what they can and can't do. And the thing that I want to emphasize here is that the only reason that you'd really even have to build something like that is if you have a prototype, a version that is fully automation based, that's able to show and prove to you that this is valuable enough to pursue in a really infinitely scalable way, right? That's what custom coded applications are going to be able to do, is scale these systems at a much higher level than a Zapier and an Integromat would be able to do from an automation perspective. Know that custom coded applications are an evolution of an automation and a low code infrastructure that you've already established. You really don't want to start with my own app, right? That's not the place that you want to start. You want to start on the 100% no-code implementation or custom API calls and really understand the systems and the tools that you're using and whether or not they're delivering value to you. To wrap things up for this custom-coded application in this very high complexity level bracket, it's going to be slow to implement. We're talking in the magnitude of months, not weeks. It's going to be quite a bit slower to test, because you need all of the things to be working and connected in order to have a good picture of the whole, right? So it's going to be slow to build, slow to test, and slow to modify. So really all of your learning and your strategy and decision making should be done on the no-code or the custom API call level, so that you can have a crystal clear understanding of what you need that custom application to do, if you need it at all. The solution to your problem might be a lot more simple than you think. So I hope this video has been helpful and gave you a great overview of the different levels of complexity in dealing with automation. If you have anything else that you'd like us to dive deeper into, feel free to comment down below. As always, the links and resources are in the description down below. And don't forget, keep the flow.